Thank you for viewing our KEGEL maintenance videos. Today we're going to be removing the transfer and buffer brush assembly. With the buffer brush in the down position, using a 9/16 wrench, we want to loosen up the nut on the back of the idler assembly. With the idler now loose, we can push the belt to the side and rotate the buffer brush to remove the belt. With the belt removed, now we can loosen up the hardware to remove the buffer brush and transfer brush assembly. It's a 3/16 Allen here and here on the inside of the frame. I've already taken the time to loosen these up. Now we'll remove them. Doing the same on the opposite side. With the hardware removed, we can now take out the entire assembly. One tip or trick that I use when I'm in the field is to unbox the products I'm going to be replacing and put the cardboard down in front of the lathe machine. Now we can take out the assembly and lay it down on top of the cardboard as to not mess up your floor. With the transfer brush and buffer brush assembly out of the machine, now is the perfect time to be able to clean those hard to reach areas that you normally can't get to with the assembly in the machine. With the buffer brush assembly out of the lathe machine, we can now remove the buffer brush from the assembly. I've already taken the time to loosen up some hardware, but wanted to show you what we need to remove. The 1/4" Allen will be removed to take off the drive pulley for the buffer brush. There's also a set screw inside the pulley that you'll need to loosen. Once that has been removed, you'll want to take the Allen bolts out of the side of the assembly. Make sure to repeat this process on the opposite side. With everything removed, we can now take out the key from the keyway, take out the spacer, and we'll loosen up the set screw on the bearing housing and slide the bearing off the shaft. We'll do the same for the other side. With your new buffer brush out of the box and all your parts cleaned up, we can now begin reassembly. First, we'll put the bearing assembly on. Do not fasten the set screws yet. Next, we'll reinstall the spacer. The new key, the pulley, the shims that were removed from the original, the fender washer, and finally the screw. We'll also want to make sure that we replace the bearing housing on the opposite side of the brush as well. We can now place the transfer brush assembly on top of the buffer brush and connect them together using our original hardware. Make sure to repeat this process on the opposite side. Now that your buffer brush has been replaced, we can reinstall the assembly in the machine. Before tightening all of the set screws, slide the entire buffer brush assembly to the right side of the lathe machine and flush against the right buffer bearing. Tighten the right buffer bearing assembly, and then take your left buffer bearing assembly and push it flush against the side of the frame. Now we can tighten all the set screws. When properly installed, there should be no side-to-side play. Once we complete that, we'll go to our input-output menu and go to the buffer brush and lift the buffer in the up position. We can now put the buffer belt on. It's always a good idea to put a new belt on when you replace your buffer brush or transfer brush. With the belt now on both pulleys, we just want to adjust our idler Slide the buffer belt idler down against the belt so the belt is taut, and then using a 9/16 wrench, retighten the idler in place.